Hello, greetings, this is Steve Gribbin broadcasting to you on Pissed Off FM. This one goes out to all the protesters in Trafalgar Square yesterday. Marvellous to see the Democratic Football Lads Alliance. They are a real democracy. Apparently they all have a vote over who throws the first brick. They're in favour of a system of PR, pure racism. Of course, sent a letter of support by Tommy Robinson, or Stephen Yaxley Lennon, to give him his true name, a man who is a conviction politician. He's actually got 7. So Tommy Robinson, of course, said famously that Islam is a system of irrational belief. And I thought, fuck off, mate, you support Luton Town. Now, of course, there is a lot of other things going on, and in lieu of a song this week, I thought I would read to you from one of my favourite children's books, Thomas the Tank Engine, given the fact that as from Monday, June the 15th, all people who travel on the railways will have to wear masks. So this is Thomas the COVID Tank Engine. Here we go. And of course, this is in honour of Michael Angelis, who died. God bless you, Mike. It was a very important moment on the island of Sodor. Now that the government world-class track and trace app had been tested and had achieved a 1000% success rate amongst the 3% who had actually bothered to respond. The fat controller had been told by the thin controller in no uncertain terms that it was time to get people back to work. He called all the engines to a special socially distanced meeting. Some of the engines even had to queue up outside the shunting sheds. The engines were all 2 metres apart, although the fat controller secretly wished it was 1 metre. "Now listen here," said the fat controller. "COVID-19 is now in retreat everywhere, and it's time that the railways should play our part in helping it to spread again. So as from Monday the 15th of June, all your passengers will be required to wear a face covering, or they will not be allowed to travel." Thomas the Tank Engine was very worried indeed. "But sir," said Thomas, "who is going to enforce that rule?" "Why, Thomas," chortled the fat controller, "it will be railway staff themselves, like the guards." "Oh," said Thomas, "and would they be the same guards that you've been trying to get rid of on the railways for the last 7 years?" "Why, you are a very naughty engine, Thomas," said the fat controller, "and if you are not careful, I will be socially isolating you down a siding." But then Henry said, "But how will the guards stop someone from getting on board the train if they refuse to wear a mask?" "Oh, that is easy," said the fat controller. "They will just ask them ever so politely, whilst in no way putting themselves in danger of a volley of insults or a punch in the face." "That doesn't sound very nice," said Daisy the engine. "Well, if they are really stuck," said the fat controller, "then the staff can always ask for the help of the British Transport Police, who will just give those reluctant passengers a damn good talking to." "But I'm worried that the R number is still too high," said Edward the engine. "Oh, don't you bother your head with such nonsense," guffawed the fat controller. "Everybody knows that unless the coronavirus has booked seats online in advance, it simply cannot travel." "I think the fat controller is talking a lot of sense," said Gordon the flash engine. "After all, it won't affect me. All my passengers are young and therefore invincible." "Oh, shut up, Gordon," snapped Thomas. "You always take his side, ever since he said you didn't have to go to Europe anymore." "Right," yelled the fat controller, "that is enough. You have tried my patience for the very last time, Thomas. You are wicked to question my judgment at a time like this, when everyone should support my every decision without question. I order you to be melted down and turned into an aeroplane, and then quarantined for 14 days to be renewed every 14 days. "Well, underneath your jolly bumbling exterior, Mr. Fat Controller," said Thomas, "it turns out you're a bit of a bastard." "That is hardly the language suited to a children's book," spluttered the fat controller. "Well," smiled Thomas, "the whole Thomas the Tank Engine series of books, as written by the Reverend W. Awdry, is nothing but a thinly veiled Christian allegory for obeying the rules and knowing one's place and never once stepping out of line." And with that, he and all the other engines all smashed the shunting sheds to pieces. The beginning.